So, my time working at Castcom. Um, One thing I can say is that customers call in and they do seem to think that uh, a button can be pressed and all of a sudden you got HBO, or Showtime, or it don't work like that. It really does not work like that. And to me, they did do a better job about restructuring the packages. From when I left there, you can either do a 2-year contract or you can do the everyday pricing, and pretty much everything extra like Netflix and all those other premium channels. You have to just add them on now, and ain't no free, nothing, which is that's good, because what a lot of customers don't be understanding is, yes, there are some good customers out there that don't call, that really don't ask for nothing, but what sucks for them is the customers that are scheming and scamming, knowing that, ain't nothing happened to their TV service or internet service, but they're calling in, let me get 3 months free of HBO, just making up stuff just to get, free stuff. This does happen, and so I don't work for them no more. So, I can say this. A lot of things that I experienced on the phones with customers, it would be like people trying to get over. It's like, you gotta realize at the end of the day, okay, you are a pretty crafty person, right? But guess what? On the other end of this phone, if I'm in the States, I could be pretty crafty too, and craft no craft, so it's like, slick no slick, so it just depends on, I guess who you get on the other end of that line. But baby, I wasn't going, and it's not my money, but they keep track of all of that stuff, the credits, how many people, you're not the only person that this person is talking to, so if they give you $100 credit and then the next person come through and they give them $100 credit, then the next person come through, the average for their credits is going to be pretty high, and that finance department is going to get on the line like, hey, what's going on? So customers don't think about that. So it's like, and they can see every fucking thing, as far as usage wise for your internet. So let's say you call in, oh, I had an outage. They can tell. They can tell. You might get a newbie on the phone that might not be as advanced, and can't dig through them tools, because sometimes the tools, as I have been working there, they made them tools harder to use. And it's just like, when I first started working there, it'd just be a click of the button. You can go and see, they can even break it down by the day. Like, oh yeah, well, my internet was out from the 4th to the 15th. So we could pull up, it's this little scale thing or whatever, this little diagram thing that show the months, and how much usage you've used that month, and they can break it down by the day, so they can see if you had internet for that day, how much was used, and if it's off from other days. Okay, so the 1st through the 3rd, you might have used 100, MB or 100 MB of your service or whatever, and so the 4th through the 15th is still the same. But you saying that I didn't have no service completely, it was out. They can see that. These companies can see that. Not just Castcom. These companies can see that. What else? What else? I do agree with, you know, the customers. These services are too damn high. They are. They too damn high. But, you know, I can see, you know, where the company is coming from too. You know, like, cost of living does get more, you know, but these companies rake in billions. So I don't be trying to hear that shit. I don't care about none of that. You know, they can come down on the price of these services overall. And I'm not just talking about Castcom. Like in the, what is the program that they have? You know, everybody don't get food stamps. I don't get food stamps. Baby, I would love to get me some food stamps. Oh, I would love to get me some assistance up in here, up in here. But every time I go to apply for assistance, they be like, Mr. Savage, come on now. What the hell are you doing here? What is we doing here? You know that you make too much money to be coming up in here at, okay, we're going to give you $16 in stamps. We're going to give you $16. Literally. It happened in Ohio, and it happened when I got here to Minneapolis. I applied, and they gave me the same damn $16. I was furious. So, you know, that affordable connectivity program or whatever they call it, you know, everybody don't qualify for that. So, you know, I get it. I totally get it. You know, customers, it's hard out here. You know, it is hard out here. But I can tell you this. When I was on the phones, I respected people that was honest. I did. I respected people that was honest, that, look, man, such and such happened, you know, and I have spiritual gifts, so I know if you're lying. I'm gonna know if you're lying. You know, and you know, I would help. You know, you get, that old saying is true. You get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. So, you know, be mindful about that. And it's like when you call up in there, yes, oh, baby, I worked, as you can just heard on the previous videos, I work for that company. And that goddamn automated system, yes, it's horrible. It is horrible. Like, I hate the Castcom automated system. But, you know, so I agree with the frustration when the customers, you know, will call in with that. You know, but, you know, be mindful. Like, be mindful that the person on the other end of the line personally did not do that to you. And for you Einsteins out there, that be calling in trying to make these reps know it, you know, because you are a whiz at the internet. You know everything about the internet. You know how the modem breaks down. You know how this works with this. Everybody's not you, bro. Everybody not you. Everybody's not you. But we need people like you in the world. Thank you for being like that, because a few of y'all have taught me. I'm not a dummy. No, I'm not a dummy. But I will say the training program, when I was coming in, it was about 8 weeks. And, you know, I have one of the best trainers. I will stand in front of her. I have one of the best trainers, you know, but now everything is pretty much done virtually, and that's pretty hard, you know, learning how to go through the different systems and stuff like that. And I'm not making excuses for people, but you got to think about it. Even though you are as high as you are in the internet level of knowledge that you have, you probably had interest in that outside of your career field or, you know, what you went to school for. You probably know how to fix computers in your damn sleep, or you could talk about internet in your damn sleep. Other people are not like that, you know? So just keep that in mind too. You know, like, yes, you might be father internet, you know, like, you know every damn thing, but some people don't. And the training is not as extensive as you think it would be, as it should be, but they just don't simply have time for that. So, I mean, I get, you know, both ends. But I was the type, I would try to learn as much as I could. You know, I've had issues myself with the services, especially working from home, using the services a lot more because it was just me, you know, by myself in my house. So I didn't really have, you know, 17 devices, 2 video gaming systems going at one time. I don't even have a damn video game. So, you know, but when I work from home, yes, I noticed that it was much more problems, but it really wasn't Castcom. It was my building. My building is old. You know, I was just sitting here thinking, like, what else? Payment plans. Look, when you set up a payment plan, right? If you set up a payment plan and you choose a date, okay, listen, that date that you set, especially because the system be already having dates. The system itself, not the rep that you speaking to on the other end of the line. The system, like, it knows, the billing system knows all of that stuff. So it has a specific date that you can't go past, right? Now, let's say you choose that date, that last final day. You know how some of us is. Come on now. You know how some of us is. I ain't talking about, you know, I'm not talking about Mr. and Mrs. Smith that's been with the company since 1987 and they pay their bill every month on time. I'm not talking about, you know, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the average customer, like, you know, that, you know, got stuff going on outside, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul, you know, and you know you don't have the money, so you will set that payment plan date to keep them services on. And then something to happen and the money, you know, that you thought you was gonna have don't come through. Hey, I've been there. I've been there. Once you set that date, you agree to that date. When you call back in to talk to that rep cannot change that date. That rep cannot extend your services to stay on. Sometimes, now, I don't know, it's been, you know, well, it's been since, what, April of last year? But even then, they was changing stuff. You know, sometimes when I was working there, you could call in. There's an order that'll be on the account. They could remove the order. We was not supposed to do that, and we could get in trouble for that. For real, we can get in trouble for that when I was working there. But some reps will, you know, go above and beyond, and they'll probably notate the hell out of that account. Yeah, right. But they could remove it, but it is still, your services are shut right back off in 24 hours. That's the system doing that. That's not a rep behind the screen. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. That's not what that is. The system is doing that. Baby, they want their money. They want their money, honey. And so you can't, as a rep, when you calling in, and I know it's frustrating, but once you choose that date, you can't go past that date. And I mean, you would just be sitting there getting frustrated and arguing with the rep, you know, and it's really doing nothing. Even if you get asked to go to a supervisor, no, the supervisor ain't got no key, they ain't got no code, they ain't got no card, you know, to where, you know, they can just press a button and poof, you know. Not even a manager. Baby, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Now, I had some cool managers. My very first manager, he probably don't like me for real, but I liked him. My first manager, I liked all of the manager stuff for one. And it was a lady, and she's not blonde. But I don't hate her. I just don't like her. But my first manager, he is so cool. He been there so long. So yes, he knows the products and stuff like that. But he's not a rep. Like he can't get on the program and be putting your package together. No. And he shouldn't have to. He really should not have to. Like, they have other stuff that they really do have to worry about. Baby, them managers, them supervisors, they really do be under pressure. Like, it really is pressure at that company, like, you know, to sell them damn cell phones, you know, which is, to me, the honest reason why I left the company. A situation happened. I had purchased a cell phone. This was back in 2018. I had purchased a cell phone. When they first came out, I purchased a cell phone, boom, paid that cell phone off in 2 years. And I got this cell phone that that I'm talking on now. And so what had ended up happening was I used the same SIM card from the previous cell phone in my new cell phone, but it didn't register on the network for the new cell phone. So the insurance got tied up. They never fixed it. I ended up being out of $200. I will have to call multiple times. This was towards the end of me working for the company. This was another reason why I left the company, because I was kind of pissed, you know. And it's like I couldn't sit there and sell that cell phone knowing what I had experienced with the service, knowing that I had been wronged, and I worked for the company. And on the back end, you know, it's not a lot of people handling, you know, the higher up problems accounts, you know, that, or at least that's what I would get. I would get all these, you know, excuses. Man, I was calling. We not allowed to look up our own accounts, you know, nothing like that. I never did no crazy shit like that. Never wanted to. I mean, I'm not a thief. Shit, I take all my licks. Definitely not a thief. But the cell phone situation, that's what I couldn't sit there and sell that cell phone knowing that what happened. I just could not get into it. I couldn't. And I did try to reach out to different people. I felt like it went on deaf ears, you know, and so I was just like, no, you know. And plus, you know, I was tired anyway of kind of working there, so I didn't, you know, think nothing of it. Well, I did, but, you know, I just knew it was time to move on. The cell phone service itself, it's okay. The cell phone service is for people, like, if you can afford your Verizon, and you know you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the customer that's been there since 1987, keep your Verizon. Keep your Verizon. Okay. Yeah, you know, yes, we might use the same towers or whatever, but it is not the same service. Like I said, I'm not one of those whiz kids, that can explain how the modem goes to with this line and then you see how that goes. Poof. No, that's not me. So, but what I can tell you is the service is not the same. It's not. Without Wi-Fi, this service is shitty. And I live in the Twin Cities. Without Wi-Fi, the service is horrible. When it comes to watching like YouTube or Instagram videos, like even like the stories, like how you watch a story, then you scroll up and you just you get into this thing of watching all these damn stories. Well, it'll freeze up. If you don't got that Wi-Fi on, it is not a good time. So therefore, that's that on that. And Spectrum, I think they offer a similar service with their cell phones. All these little cable companies with the cell phone, yes, it's a good deal. It's a good deal, economically wise. But as far as the service goes, no. I mean, if you like me and you like to watch YouTube and stuff on like that, but you don't have like, internet, then no, it's not going to be a good time for you. You got to have Wi-Fi if you have the cell phone service, and not just, their Wi-Fi, any Wi-Fi, because relying on a 5G, I don't know. But, I don't know. I mean, it's good, if you can't afford your Verizon or T-Mobile service, it's good. If you do have the service and like, let's say you have internet and they be having those internet only plans, and having the mobile service will bring down your internet plan. Yes, it is good in that aspect, like, cost wise and stuff like that. And the service itself, like the actual phone service, like, I haven't dropped any calls or, anything like that. Text messages not going through. But I do experience like the phone service like going completely out, especially like when I'm going downtown. You like going towards 4th Street North, like 4th Street or like Hennepin, like where the 90s is at. You got to go over that bridge, and it's like right when I get to a certain area, it always shut off. So, but I just figured that's because I was going into downtown. But the phone service itself, I say I would give it like a 5 out of 10. If you can afford your Verizon, keep your Verizon. But yeah, the payment plans can't change the date once you set the date, no matter who you sit up and talk to. The managers, they don't got, a button where they can give you HBO or Showtime. Those companies actually monitor that stuff too. Like HBO know how many free stuff, they was giving out. That's why that stuff got taken away. So if you like get those reps that's been there for years, and they tell you that, oh, that was taken away. Well, it really was. It really was taken away because people would abuse it. And so they could do better with the whole, oh, the price not gonna raise, because yes, when you get a contract with them, your bundle rate, like because the packages already come pre-built. The packages are pre-built. Like, they know certain channels are in different channel tiers. The company does that, not the reps. And so your bundle rate, that's the only thing that's staying the same. Your equipment, your taxes, and your fees, that stuff can all go up. And I mean, one way you can get rid of all them cable boxes is by using that Stream app. I love that Stream app. I mean, I love the Stream app. I don't watch sports. I don't care about sports. So, that is one of the big complaints. Well, you can't watch sports in the Stream app. Well, I don't watch sports, so I don't care. I'm still watching the Golden Girls. I don't care. I was just sitting here